student.
Hi, this is my daughter Nora. She's going to be helping me with the Africa lecture today. So, to introduce this unit, I just wanted to pause and tell you about the geography of Africa. So, it's a really large continent. It's the second biggest continent after Asia, and it has distinct climate zones that really influence the history of it. So, as you guys know, up in the north here, you have real Mediterranean climate. Remember, we had Carthage, they fought against Rome. So up here you have a really sort of nice climate, followed immediately by this gigantic desert. See that desert over there? By this gigantic desert, the world's biggest, the Sahara Desert. So this serves as sort of an ocean of sand that really separates what we call sub-Saharan Africa from North Africa. North Africa up here has very distinctive cultures, has very distinctive politics, very distinctive history. Up here is very different from down here. Again, they're separated by this big gulf of ocean and dryness right here. Then down here you've got your rainforests, your savannas over here. You see that the desert, goes into the east as well. And then you've got another desert down here, the Kalahari Desert down there, followed by some areas here that are actually pretty good for farming. So that's just, again, sort of in a big nutshell, but when I go into some kingdoms, I believe the kingdom today we're going to talk about are over in this area here. I just want you to sort of remember what we're talking about here. All right, how do we do?
Good.
Oh, good. So the first kingdom that we'll talk about in depth is the independent state of Kush. That would be this guy.
Hello, student.
Yes. Hello. Yes, she's still here. Okay, so the first kingdom we're going to talk about is the kingdom of Kush. That is this one right over here, and they are upriver from the Nile because remember from a couple units ago, the Nile alone amongst the world's great rivers flows north, right? So these guys would have been upriver of the Egypt that we studied earlier. And they, for a long time, were controlled by the Egyptian empires, but they, around 1000 BC, you see they break free and gain their independence. And actually, for a period of time, I think they start one of the kingdoms, like between the old and the middle. Kush conquers Egypt. Kush actually rules the whole thing. So Kush was very important in Egyptian history, but they were a big empire in their own right. They became a major trading center, of course, because they're on a trade route. They had a large supply of iron, so that was their big thing. Is they were really good with iron, and that's what they had to trade, and they're really sort of the first earliest of these sub-Saharan African empires. No, thank you. Okay, the next kingdom, the last one that we'll talk about today, was Aksam. So that's right here. So pretty close to where Kush was, if you remember where we are from the map before. There's Saudi Arabia right up there. And Aksam is going to conquer Kush, probably over competition they had over things that they were trading.
Hello, student.
Yes, you can say hello, students.
Hello, student.
Okay, thank you. All right, but their most distinctive feature, the thing that a lot of people really remember about them, was their religion. You'd see here in 324, their king converted to Christianity, and so they were actually this African Christian kingdom pretty early in the history of that religion, and they sort of start Ethiopian Christianity, which remains a sort of big thing today. This over here is actually illustration from one of their Bibles, and you can sort of see African motifs in the picture, but it's a story about, I believe that's King David. And over here is one of their towers. So this is the sort of architecture things that they would like to build. You see that over there? That's one of the towers that they built. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. Could you build that?
No.
No, me neither. Okay, so that's their thing, right? They're the Ethiopian sort of Christian kingdom, and they actually get along fine with the Muslims when they start to rise up for a while, but tensions begin to arise. They often do, right, when you've got two kingdoms next to each other, and they do start getting tense and arguments over this and that, and then so eventually that's going to end up in some fighting between them and the Muslim empires. But that'll be later. Did we do a good job? Are we done? Okay, here, let me press this button right here.